Hey, hello and welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little inspiration, a little motivation, and perhaps a way to cope with your day. I'm Mike from Virginia, and my gratitude this morning is for being flexible and getting things done in spite of roadblocks along the way.
Hey, good morning, folks. Happy Friday. My name is Earl Rule, hailing out of beautiful North Carolina. My gratitude for this morning actually is one of my sports teams, the Carolina Hurricanes, are going to the Stanley Cup playoffs and starting tomorrow, and I'm very happy for them. And also, my gratitude is for my business and learn something new every day and keep my mind sharp and ready to go.
That was awesome, Earl. Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay Anderson, yielding from the great, wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. I say that because my gratitude is for the state of West Virginia. What a lustrous, beautiful scenery that one can see. Every state offers it. You just have to find it.
Awesome. Love that, Jay. Hey guys, I am Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude for the day is date nights. They are imperative. So if you're not taking date nights, take them. Doesn't matter how long you've been married, if you have kids, don't know kids, just do it. I can promise it'll change your marriage. Today, Jay Shetty talked about taking your foot off the gas, right? He said the sweetness of doing nothing. He put an Italian word there, but I'm not going to even bother saying that. So, unless Mike, do you know how to say
La Ducci pass.
it? Okay. He talked about the peace and pleasantness of being without doing, right? Slowing down has other benefits as well. Sometimes doing less can actually help us do better, right? He talked about how baseball season is very long, right? Each team is playing 162 games, and there's usually a month stint where the players are playing every single day, right? And some coaches make their players work harder, right? So by August, a lot of the players are worn out, tired. Um, and then Madden would have the guys actually take a break during August, right? This helped them refresh their minds and give them higher performance. Now, he's not saying that that's the only reason, right? Um, but this 1 week did not make all the difference, but it definitely helped their performance, right? We think we need to, a lot of times, like when we're worn out or tired, we think that we need to double down. But sometimes that strategy will work. But what if we try to take a rest, right? Embrace doing nothing. This is a good one, guys. Mike and I, at the beginning of the year, we made a pact to, you know, God created the earth in 6 days, and then on the seventh day he rested, right? So Mike and I took this um, to heart at the beginning of the year and decided on Sundays we're not working, we're not doing anything, we're not working around the house, we're not doing any of this, right? We made a pact to say, now, has it been easy? No, it's not easy at all. And has there been Sundays that we worked? Yes, there has been, right? But it's definitely helped us refresh and reset our minds for the week coming, right? Because a lot of times, and I was the girl that if I was burnout and tired, I was pushing even harder, thinking that I needed to push harder. And sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes it happens where we automatically think, oh, we just need to work harder, right? We're going to get through this. But I can guarantee you on the other side of that, you could come out sick, burn out, tired, and then what? Then you have to rest, right? Your body's telling you you have to rest. So instead of waiting till that happens, we decided to take a proactive approach and just not work on Sundays. And again, resting on a day all day long, right, is not easy. It's not. So give yourself a break if you're not perfect at it, because it's going to take time, right? Especially since we're so in tune to doing, right? We want to do all the time. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
So
Chris,
for clarity for our viewing audience, Christine's husband is named Mike.
Oh
She's not
yeah,
talking about different things.
yeah. My husband's name is Mike as well. Yes. Yes. It's not Mike Jones.
Okay. Christine, one thing interesting I wanted to bring up, because I just had my breakfast at Chick-fil-A. I decided to treat myself today, Friday, to a little breakfast out. But when you go to a Chick-fil-A restaurant, one of the things you see on the door is they're closed on Sundays. They're giving their employees a rest because they believe in giving their people a rest when needed. They believe in hard work, but there's also a day where you be with family, you need to rest. And I think that stands out in how you treat your people. In any business or in athletes, a good coach, yeah, he will challenge you. He will make you be the best. Give it 100% each and every day. But in between that, he will give you a day off to make sure you're not burning yourself off. Okay, because I think the key word here is balance. You have to balance yourself, and yet you have to, but not only with the body, but with the mind. Your mind has to be balanced because if you're not balancing yourself, that's when frustration and trouble can start. So I think that that's very important in any aspect in life, whether even in relationships in some aspects. I mean, balance, between work and quality time together. You got to balance. But when it comes to work or career, um, yeah, I think balance is very important because yeah, there are times where you have to work hard, but there's times where you do take your foot off the gas, saying, "I need to breathe, let my mind refresh." Need that rest so I can get back into that upper gear and perform the best I can be every day.
For sure. Love that. Jay, Mike.
I was thinking of how this relates to being grandparents. So we probably didn't take as many breaks when we were in the thick of it with our kids and careers and so forth. But yeah, kind of enjoy going to the playground yesterday with a very fearless, and I mean fearless 3-year-old going down the slides backwards, sideways, head first.
Every which way she possibly could, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell you,
And,
that's awesome.
Mike, can I ask you a quick question about that really quick? Did that feel like rest to you, or did that feel like work to you?
Definitely rest.
Yeah. So
It
like
was, I got in a lot of steps, and tell you, I was exhausted by the end of the day, but
it wasn't actually work though. It was like more
no,
rest than anything. It's like rejuvenating us, right?
exactly.
And it's
Go ahead, Jay.
crazy, but no, it's crazy because that conversation in the midst of chaos, because kids are very chaotic. They're very disruptive. But as a grandparent, you feel this peaceful calmness come over you that the chaos does not matter. It's cool. Question: could this title and this conversation have taken place 15 to 20 years ago?
I
No,
don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't need it.
So what do you mean for us? Like we're
I'm talking
prepared to accept it right now, or
in general. In general. In other words, could it be talked about out loud?
I think 15, 20 years ago, mindsets and everything else around it was a little different. Wouldn't you agree?
I think if we were going pedal to the metal, like we were
I
going.
yeah,
think right.
I related to myself, but not to people in general. I mean, people. I had colleagues who seemed to be able to do the same job I was doing in 40 hours a week when I was staying late often.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I just don't think it was again, you go back to an era where there wasn't really two schools of thought. No pain, no gain kind of concept was there. And that's how we went about life. Okay.
You're
Interesting.
talking
And Chris,
about what I call BC before COVID.
Well,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was
okay.
definitely before COVID.
All
Yeah,
right.
we had a
So
reset
I
in
think
2020.
pre-2020, well, yeah, it might not have been as long ago as I was throwing it out there then. It's interesting. I think I was raised, I think three of us were raised, and Christine, I feel like you were too, that you were coming into an era where I think, Christine, at your age, your youthful age, I might add, that
Facts, useful.
there you go, that um, you started hearing insurance companies saying to large companies, we're developing a wellness program. Okay.
Mhm.
So this wellness program really ties into this take your foot off the gas conversation. It was, listen, we've been doing studies and we're finding the productivity and longevity takes form in wellness. And part of wellness is being able to take your foot off the gas, among other things. Okay. And that, Christine, was things that we saw when you were younger. Okay. Not that we're over the hill and that there's such a big age gap there or anything,
There's really not.
but the point being, it just so happens to be the time frame with the four of us on this platform. Okay. So it's interesting to me because I was sitting there thinking, uh, I remember not that long ago when I was in the car business, if you had a bad week or a bad month and you hunkered down and you hunkered down hard, you
And
didn't
you worked crazy hours
crazy,
just to push through.
crazy hours. And
Yeah.
you're sitting there going, wait a second, what the heck am I doing? And so I'm sitting here thinking how beautiful, how lucky are we to be able to have this conversation now, because now there's two schools of thought. One of them is you can hunker down and get through it. The other is maybe give yourself just a little bit of grace and stop and smell the roses along the way. And that concept seems to work well. I will tell you the times that I've rested, I've become less stressful and I've been able to navigate whatever situation. The times that I hunker down and really try to go after it, and I keep thinking, well, if I just do this, if I just do this, and I keep going, it's like my mind gets lost. There doesn't seem to be a clear process, maybe because I'm just hunkering down,
Mhm.
because I just got to try harder. I know I can do this. The amount of pressure that you put on yourself, people see that. We hear in our line of work when you're dialing on the phone, smile while you dial, smile while you're talking to people because they can hear it. Well, it's the same thing when you're hustling and bustling and you just I gotta get it hard, I gotta try harder, I gotta try harder. People view that, they see it. You don't think they see it, but you don't realize what your expressions are, your facial expressions, your verbal expressions. And so I took this down a rabbit hole for a stupid reason. And it was selfish because I go either way with this conversation. There are times I'm like gun ho and I work my hiney off and I want to go at it and things may not be going the way that I want and I feel like I need to just bear down. Then there are times I'm like, whoo, my give a shit meter just got pegged. It's time to take a little time off.
Mhm.
So it's hit and miss with me. And I have a hard time finding consistency with that. And maybe that's the missing component for me is the consistency. We talk about time blocking our schedule, our calendars. Maybe, just maybe, a resource for that, for what I just said, could be our calendar and using it correctly. Just throwing that out there. Thoughts?
You were saying we couldn't have this conversation 10 or 15 years ago. And follow my analogy here. Stop and smell the roses. I bet every one of us has had a boss or somebody in their lives that when we stop and smell the roses, that son of a gun would jump in front of us and start putting down fresh fresh manure in the rose position.
Yeah.
That's right. That statement is as old as the comes. Okay. But
Well,
that's all it was. It was a default upfront statement because you surely didn't discuss how, when, where, why after that, did you? You didn't go into the depths of it. They just said that and then they moved forwards. And you know what's funny after that? 10 minutes later, they're still barking orders at you.
uh, getting back to what Mike was saying, stop and smell the roses. That I can equal that to revisiting your vision board. How sweet is the finish line right there? You smell the roses. How close are you to your vision? How close are you to the finish line? And I think yeah. But
Well,
is
oh, go ahead, Earl.
I was gonna say, if something is not working, maybe we need to recreate it or just go back to the drawing board saying, okay, why am I not being where I'm at? Maybe I'm not seeing things the way I need to. So I need to take a time out, rest my mind for a second, go back to it and say, all right, what I need to do to get there. Because some people are stubborn. They're just going to keep grinding and grinding until they literally hit the cement.
Yeah.
And that's not a healthy thing.
Well,
What you need to do is find out what it is that you're after. um, Take a time out. It's okay to take a time out. It's okay to take a minute to rest your mind, rest your body. Then when you're ready, get back up, recharge yourself, and find out what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And sometimes those things can spring new ideas out of the blue. And
Well,
look for
and
the
look
sign.
at, oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go. No,
I
no,
thought you
no.
were done.
Go. I'm sorry. Go.
Well, look at the big tech companies now, like Google and Meta. Like they have time, like they make sure their people are rested, right? They even have like pods where people can go in and rest and sleep. I mean, there's another company called Mind Valley that he actually has people come in later to work, like at 10 or 11, um, because he knows how important starting your morning is, right? But I mean, the big tech companies really started a movement with rest, right? Like they are really focused on their employees getting rest, or even like Walmart giving access to health things, right? And wellness. Like,
Mhm.
um, there's big corporations that are really starting to um, tune into people resting and getting what they need to be able to be more productive in their work.
And
so there's,
Not only that, Christine, there's actually some companies, I think they're in different countries. They actually give their employees a 4-day work week.
Yes. There's
They
some
give
here
their
too,
a 4-day work week with a balanced schedule in there. You may work a little longer hours, but you get that time and rest in between. And that fifth day, that whatever, I think I'm going to assume it's a Friday that they take off. I could be wrong on that, but it's like I said this at the beginning. It's a matter of balance and then knowing what you need to do.
for sure.
I think one of the keys to me, the wellness portion of it, I think is a big key. On this platform, we've witnessed an individual quietly, slowly, under the depths of I can if I just work harder, I know if I work harder, I'll do better. We watched this individual uh, quietly once again uh, have some health issues, and we watched this person go through a transition on all this. Okay, uh, and within our platform now that I'm speaking of, and this is all done quietly. But then we also saw a shift where taking maybe some little time off, change some things, uh, seems the quality of health, even though some of those issues will never go away, helps a little bit more on a daily basis because of the taking the time for wellness. So I think just us witnessing that firsthand allows me to ease my mind a little bit and say, I think I'm going to use my calendar a little bit more effective. I really honed in on my calendar a month, 2 months ago, and started readjusting what I was doing. And part of that readjustment had to come within myself. If I'm going to put it on the calendar, am I willing to follow it, or am I just doing this to make me feel better? And you have to be honest with yourself. You just, the brutal accountability has to be there. So this is a great thing to take your foot off the gas statement, because it forces us to talk about that. We don't want to talk about taking that time off, because in the old days that was considered lazy, possibly worthless. There was
Yes.
there was no adjective attached to that statement that made you look good in society. Deep down, it's always been in every one of our minds, I suspect, that, man, I need a little time off. I think that's always existed. I don't ever question that. It just wasn't the norm in society.
Right. Yeah. And last night, a perfect example, like Mike and I were not going to go on a date night. And this would have been the second week in a row that we missed. Because I've been sick, right? So he asked me, do you really feel up to it? And I felt great yesterday. So I was like, yeah, I feel fine. Like, let's do it. Like, I really need time away. Like, we gotta go. Like, I need this. But sometimes we don't listen to ourselves enough to be able to be aware that you need it, right? And we were designed to take a day of rest.
Yeah, but I also think we were designed and we've been programmed, might be better off
Yes, make a program.
to say, I don't want to admit that I need time off.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the feeling is like you're admitting guilt to something, and
And it's not guilt.
you should not have to feel that way.
No,
But I think a lot of us have that, and I think that's human nature.
for sure. Human nature, and I think societal pressure to perform and outperform other people, and because social media is out there and you can see what other people are doing because they plaster it everywhere, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I feel insignificant, so I just need to work harder, right? But we also don't know what's really going on in that household, right? Are they taking a day of rest?
No, we
Maybe
don't.
they are, maybe they're not, you know?
That's exactly right. Mike, I see
But
those wheels, those gears in that large brain of yours going to town.
thank you for telling me I'm that transparent. Okay. We had a discussion yesterday after we stopped recording, unfortunately, but it was about the sustainability of, doing 1,000 dials a week or whatever.
Oh, yes.
And it's when you hear these people who have become successful, well, how'd you get there? Well, I just sat down and ground it out and did, if I wasn't doing 100 dials a day, it was a bad day and it's like that, but not sustainable. And human beings are fragile beings in many ways.
Good
Bingo.
word. Good word. We are fragile.
And that's funny, Mike, because everybody's different in their what level, at what point is the breaking point. You know, what you just said makes me want to say this. We as humans want the reward faster than the longer. And what we're seeing is a transition of the longer taking place to make that. Okay. Now, you will have a lot of people say, well, you have to work hard to gain. Zero question. We understand that. We're not saying, look, here's the silver platter, here's the silver spoon, do what you need. We're not saying that. And folks, please don't think that we're trying to say that. What we are saying is sometimes the grace that comes into play says you got to give yourself a little time and you got to take the foot off the gas. And you do have to be smart about it. I mean, you really do. You know, it's no
Can I
different
have the
than
silver spoon and the silver platter, please?
yeah, order it, right? And
I don't think Amazon sells that.
there's nothing wrong to
I'm sure
ordering
they
that.
do, but not in the context that we
Not
want.
in the same context. Well, the other
Oh,
thing is, uh, when you have your nose to the grindstone, the world may be changing around you. You're not aware of it.
yeah,
Oh,
you lose self-awareness when you have
yeah,
your nose to the grindstone all the time.
Yeah.
I 1000% would agree with that.
for sure.
Folks, it's easy to see we're not therapists. Obviously, we go all over the board with things like this, but what a great topic. I think my learning lesson out of it, don't be scared to talk about anything. And I think this is a beautiful conversation to have because, yes, we do need to take the foot off the gas. We do need to smell the roses along the way. Just remember, we're not guaranteed the next second of our life. Why wouldn't we try to enjoy a little bit of it as we go? That was the original plan for us when we were kids. We just didn't know it. You know, we were told that life was going to be great once we became an adult, and it is great. We just didn't realize what it meant, how hard it could be. And it's not that it's hard, is life presents obstacles along that path, and that's what we have to pay attention to. We listen to the app Calm. Inside that app, we listen to Jay Shetty, and he throws these just little jewels out at us. And then at the end of our conversations, generally, I can't speak for the other three, but I will speak for myself. I'm a happy camper after every morning we do this. I just walk away and I feel like, man, this feels good. Maybe this is where I take my foot off the gas, is during this. But, anyways, please join us on a daily basis.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. We hope you come back for more. Have a great day, everyone.
Peace.
This is